there and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to share ideas on what every communication specialist should always remember. Now, so sorry about my voice because I have a cold and my voice doesn't sound so well. So let's get straight into the video. Because I work in a public relations agency, I realized that working with some brand managers or working with some clients, you realize that there are people who are brand managers who occupy those roles but do not necessarily know what the core of communication should drive at, right? Now, every communication specialist, it is pertinent, it is very important to remember that communication is not just about putting out message out there or putting out messages out there to your target audience. There's a goal for it, right? So don't forget that communication falls under the umbrella of marketing, right? So there is marketing as the umbrella, and then while you have products and then you have price and then you have place, you also have promotion. Now, on the promotion is where communication comes in, right? So how are you going to get your product to reach the target audience? What message would you like the target audience to hear or see to make them believe in your brand or in your product, right? That's where communication plays a very huge role. And it's very important for communication specialists to always remember that communication should always narrow down to the bottom line of a company, which is profit. So when you're putting out a message out there, you want to be sure, how does this tie to the bottom line of my company? How is my company going to make money? Or how are the products and services of this company going to reach the target audience in the right way? Now, communication is not one-sided. In this video, everything that a communication specialist should always remember is what I am actually sharing in the video. So the first thing is to always remember that communication needs to tie to the bottom line. And the bottom line is the profits. Every successful company must make profits. If your communication is not effective and it's not bringing in profit for your company, then you need to reevaluate. That's one. Number two is to understand that communication is not one-sided. So there is the internal and then there is the external, right? Beyond the sender and the receiver, right? There is the internal and the external. So when you're crafting the kind of message or when you're creating your communication plan, it comes in two ways. So your stakeholders, right? What messages do you want them to get? What messages do you want them to receive, right, from the company? So if you're talking to the public, to your target audience, what do you want them to know? If you're talking to your employees, what do you want them to know? Now, there's something called employee engagement in communication, right? Whatever message that needs to be put out there should first be agreeable from the inside, right? I've seen some cases where there is a campaign going on outside and the employees of a company are not even aware of what the brand or what the company is doing as per communication. Because you're in the HR department or because you're in the business development department does not mean that you shouldn't have an idea of what's happening. So it is important for communication specialists to always craft that message in a way that both the internal and the external audience get to know what is actually going on at a particular time. The third thing is to understand that a communication department or marketing communication cannot stand on its own. It is a joint effort. So the sales department needs to agree, the procurement department needs to agree, the HR department needs to agree, the communication department needs to agree, because In fact, if there's no agreement, then that company is set for its downfall. I'm sorry, because your customer service team might be frustrating your communication efforts. So while you've pushed out a very amazing and nice call to action or message with a great call to action, and then you have customers tripping in, I bet you if you don't have unity or your system is not unified, your customer service team is going to frustrate your effort. So it is very important for collaboration to take place. Communication cannot work on its own. So teams in the organization needs to work together with all the departments, communication, sales, HR, whatever department, they need to work together. Another thing is consistency. That's the fourth thing, the fourth or the fifth, I can't remember. But consistency, as communication specialist, you need to understand the importance of consistency, right? What's your brand voice, right? What's your brand archetype? These are things that will help you in crafting a message. You're not going to be mild today and wild tomorrow. No, you need to understand how have we defined our communication voice. How are we going to speak? Sorry, how are we going to speak to our stakeholders? How are we going to speak to the public? How are we going to speak to our employees? How are we going to speak to the board of directors? How are we going to speak? Your brand voice has to be consistent. In the same way a brand logo is consistent. Coca-Cola's logo has been the logo for years, for decades. It's the same way that your brand voice has to be consistent. And if there's going to be a change, then that has to be what? Communicated, right? So one other thing I need to say is that communication specialists need to understand that the results may not be instant. That's the fifth thing every communication specialist needs to understand. That it may not be instant, because I pushed out a message to say that, oh, this phone is all you need to succeed in your productivity, right? Because I pushed out this message does not mean that it would bring results immediately. And that's one thing that most companies don't understand, and it frustrates their communication team, thinking that it's an instant delivery. Well, sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't work, right? So communication is a build-up of consistent messaging, consistent visibility, top of mind. You get? So it is all of these things put together that now brings about results. And another thing is, is either you're here or you're not here. Like you cannot be serious with communication today and push out messages, and in the next 3 years you're quiet. Hello. Like, people believe what they see. People want to buy what they see. People want to embrace what they see, right? So these are 5 things that I think are very vital for every communication specialist to remember in this new year as you draft communication plans for your organization and your communication strategy, whether you're a brand manager, whether you're a public relations officer, whatever communication role that you occupy, whether as a digital marketer. It is very important to remember these 5 points. And thank you for watching my video. I hope to see you in my next video. And please use the subscribe button to get or to watch more videos and share the information. With love from me. Bye.